Yes, more life, more greatness. Learn thyself and love thyself. Yeah, learn thyself is wisdom. Love thyself is wisdom applied. Yeah, this topic is about, well, I'm going to touch a few different topics: racism, white and black, and a few other things. But yeah, what is racism? What is racism? Racism, as in described in the dictionary, is when a group of people is being discriminated by because of their minority, and the majority discriminates against them or trying to stop their flow of progress, basically. Yeah. So let's look, for example, America. America is known as a racist country, and racism is a crime, and racism is a corruption. Yeah. And a crime. Now, how they are racist? Because the people who are in power, institutions in a power, they are being institutionalized racist. They are advocating institutionalized racism. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they have the power to stop the flow of another group of people's progress, and we see it all the time. We see it in with the so-called carbonated people in America. Yeah. And yeah, and other groups of people. Yeah, that are in the minority. So when it comes to housing, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to schooling, you know, it's just when it comes to the distribution of wealth. Yeah, yeah, and this is something that we have to recognize, and if we don't recognize it, we'll not be able to put a stop to it. You know what I'm saying? And we all have to rise above it. The thing is, we too long been living comfortable in racism and accepting it, and too long other people have been living in race, really been living with racism and being racist very comfortable, very comfortably, should I say, very comfortably. Yeah, and as Bob Marley say, until one stop thinking they're superior and the other thinking they're inferior, it's gonna be war. So one who's thinking that they're superior is instigating racism, and the other who thinking that inferior claiming to be a victim of racism. Yeah. So a minority cannot be racist against the majority because they ain't got the power to stop the majority progression. So racism is a power thing. So you have to have power to be a racist. You understand what I'm saying? A racist only be a racist because of power. You understand? Okay. Now that's done. That's said. Yeah. So we understand what racism is, and most of us understand what racism and know that it exists. And another thing I need to cover is slavery. Yes, slavery did exist, and it still exists, and it still does exist, because slavery is a choice. It's a choice for you to be a slave. Yeah, you make that choice to be, because why? Things that you want, yeah, you are be a slave to get it, instead of being a creator and creating it and manifesting it yourself. You see, being a slave is like being an addict, someone who's addicted. So if you're addicted to things, so addicted to getting things easy, somebody giving you a job, somebody giving you land, somebody, you know what I'm saying? Somebody giving you a vote, somebody giving you a right to this, or then you're a slave. We all slaves to this system. We all addicted to the material aspect of the system. Yeah, and the comfortably of getting it from the system instead of going and get it for ourselves. So yeah, slavery do exist, and most people are enslaved because you only go to work so that you can stay alive. And why should we have to go to work to stay alive? Why can't we work for ourselves? You understand what I'm saying? Why can't we work the land and create our own industries through, but off the land and together with the land? There's a lot of things we create and we have out there and we don't need, but it's a luxury. We create it to be a luxury, and we're addicted to these things. And because we're addicted to these things, we become a slave to the system so that we can have these things. Television, nice car, nice house, telephone. Every day every year the new iPhone and the new this phone. Yeah. New Jordans. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? New clothes. Yeah, get the most girls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We all become addicted to all these things. And when you're addicted to something, you become a slave. So you have to be very addicted to something to become a slave. And we're addicted to being a slave. And that's another thing. Because when you do something for over a period of time, it becomes like an addiction, a tradition, a culture. Yeah, son. Yeah. Another thing, yes, I said I wanted to talk about. Yes, voting and elections. Yeah. In the West, we despise arranged marriage. Like a woman is forced to marry a man that she don't want to, but because the family said that you have to, she is forced to marry that man. Yeah, no matter what his age or his status or his creed, she is forced to marry that man against her will. You understand what I'm saying? Well, when I say will, that's another question. That's another thing to question, will. But against her so-called freedom of choice. Yeah. She has to do with what her family said is. And in the West, we despise that and say, nah, that's against humanity. And it's true, it is against humanity. You cannot tell a person who to marry or who not to marry, who to be with or who not to be with. A person's supposed to be able to make that choice for themselves. You understand? Same way with elections. We are forced to vote for who been elected for us and not by us. People are being elected for us to go vote for. So that is like arranged marriage. We arrange the marriage for us to partake in, and more or less forcing us to, telling us yes, we have to vote. Yeah, and not giving us any other choice to say, yeah, I vote for myself, I vote for my mother, I vote for my, because most of us would not vote for these people, would not elect these people, should I say. If it was your choice, you would elect somebody closer to you. Yeah. So all these electorals are a sham. It's arranged marriage. Elections is arranged marriage. You understand what I'm saying? So they're telling us who to vote for and who not to vote for. Yeah. And at the same time, man, if we don't study history and see the past history of elections and politics, it does not help the people. It does more stress to the people, and there's more corruption amongst the nation through the politicians. You understand? Yeah. No disrespect. I learned from Dr. Sebi. I learned about, eating the right foods so that you have an optimum health, being alkaline, because we are electrical beings. So we need electrical foods that is highly electrical. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we need to eat, electrical foods. Yeah. And if we eat electrical foods, then our body and our thinking will be great, because studies have linked bad health to bad mental health. Just like Dr. Sebi said, if you eat so much starch, your brain will be starched up and you will not be able to learn or think properly. You'll be delusional. You'll be angry. You'll be hyperactive, ADD, So it'll be opposite of learning of wisdom, of gaining wisdom. So Yeah, people say, oh, I only eat starch occasionally. Eating starch is like eating rat poison occasionally. You understand what I'm saying? It's a poison to the body. Whether they take a little bit at a time, it all does its toll to the body, and it all piles up and builds up. Because the more you hit on something, the little tap, after years, that little tap becomes a big damage. Because if you don't stop that tap, it becomes a dent, a big, great dent. Yeah. Yeah, man, just a few things with a, words of wisdom just for you to ponder on. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people out there just very, very confused out there. You know what I'm saying? Very confused. Yeah. Like if you talk about your race, they call you racism. Talking about your race and progressing your race is not racism. Talking about your race and understanding and learning about your race and who you are as a person is not racism. We are all different beings. You understand what I'm saying? This is why if you know anything about medical, you cannot treat one person the same way you treat another person for the same disease, because everybody has a different fingerprint. Yeah, you have a different fingerprint, not just on your fingers, but you have a whole different fingerprint which is unique to you. If all your organs in your body, your cells, everything has its own fingerprint which is unique to you. So any other thing will be alienated to your body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we all have that fingerprint. So that is why you have to understand our bodies are all genetically made up different. That is why the mitochondrial gene is main gene is found in the carbonated woman. I have to stop using that word black or white, because black and white is a political term invented to confuse the mass, add more confusion to the already ongoing confusion. Yeah, call one person black because using black as in a negative sense, and one person white using white as in a godly, purist sense. It's all political, racial, motivated. So that is why I am not black. You understand? I don't consider myself as black. Yes, I have carbon. Yes, I am a great one. I'm a great being. You understand what I'm saying? I'm one of the great beings, natural to this planet. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm learning about the difference between DEA and DNA. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid, and DEA is deoxyribonucleic acid, and one has a double helix and the other one has a triple helix. Yeah, they don't talk about these things, and this is something I'm just learning about. And as you hear this, hope you get to go and learn this for yourself. And no, I don't subscribe to melanin, because melanin don't exist to me. Melanin is just a word invented to add more confusion. Do you understand what I'm saying? I only understand and subscribe to the 142 minerals that make up life. And out of the 142 minerals, we are made out of 102 minerals, similar to most natural plants. 102 minerals. Yeah? And our body needs a high dose of iron frequently so that we can stay healthy. Lack of iron is the compromising of your mucous membrane, and that causes diseases. The mucous membrane, once it's compromised, it creates excess mucus, and the body can't get rid of it, and it becomes toxic, and hence disease. Yes, it becomes a playground for disease. Yeah. So yeah, know thyself is wisdom. Learn thyself is wisdom. Know thyself is wisdom. Love thyself is wisdom applied. Yeah. Yeah, man, you gotta eat your fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, as much as you can. Eat electrical foods. Yeah, I don't like just saying alkaline because you can call anything alkaline nowadays. You know, people even making alkalines. You can bleach is alkaline, but you can't eat bleach, but it's not electrical. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, what nature creates is naturally electrical, and that links to where Tesla understood that everything is energy, everything is electrical in this whole universe. This whole universe is electrical. Yeah. So what is natural is naturally electrical. Yeah. And that is how we can create electricity. We have a role to play in having free electric within the whole of this Earth planet, plain net. You understand? Because I don't subscribe to the globe. Strictly flat. All I see. I don't know what shape the Earth is, but I know it's not a globe. But what I see is flat. Flat, flat, flat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what they saying and what I'm seeing and what a lot of people are out there proving, it's questionable. So it's good to question everything. Yeah, I hope this video is not too long. Yeah. So, yeah. I hope that y'all make sense of what I'm saying, and maybe I might have another download for y'all again. But you don't know. I give it to you raw and uncut. Straight up, you know? That's how we do it, straight from the Caribbean. Yeah, man. Living with mama, because that's part of me. Your higher self. You know what I'm saying? When we become our lower self, we separate. Lower self separates. But when you vibrate on the higher self, you become a whole. You become that whole again. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always by myself, but never lonely. Remember that. You understand? Whether I'm around 100 people, 1,000 people, I'm still by myself. And I'm never lonely. I can be just by myself in the desert, and I'll still never be lonely. Because the greatness I am is infinite. You know what I'm saying? My company is infinite and epic. Because everything is epic. Like epic genetics. Everything is epic. Consciousness is epic. You know what I mean? Just like I was saying to somebody again when I was talking about free will. Yeah. How could our will be free? What we think and what we will is beyond this epic of our consciousness. Yes. You see, we get thoughts into our head before we are conscious of it. So that proves that the thoughts that we get in our head is not our own thoughts. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't know where these thoughts come from. But we understand that our environment has a lot to do with the incoming thoughts that we get. So we know that our thoughts are epic. It's beyond our consciousness. Our consciousness is us experiencing our epic self, beyond self, and our physical self. You understand? It's a fusion. A consciousness is the fusion. It is the experience of the fusion of self. Yeah. Because, as I said, our thoughts come from beyond this avatar and our so-called consciousness. Everybody wants to be conscious, but we are always conscious. We're cognitive, so we are conscious. But there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? Are you aware? That's great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, yeah. So, think about that. If our thoughts coming from wherever it's coming from into our brain before we even be conscious of it, where is them thoughts coming from? And what influences them thoughts? We know the environment influences the thoughts. And what is our environment? Our environment is the society that we live in, and the direction we are going and heading. We are heading and manifesting. Yeah. Yeah, this is uncut raw knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But think about these things, man. There's a lot of things we need to question because we think we know it all and we think we know everything. But knowledge is not something you hold tight with a fist, open hand, because everything is inchangeable. You know? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, you're done now. Love thyself. Know thyself. Know thyself is wisdom. Love thyself is wisdom apply. More greatness. 758, natural order in life. You don't need to subscribe. Just enjoy the vibe and live life to the fullest and greatness. Love thyself. Always love yourself. Once you love yourself, you fill up your cup, fill up yourself with love. All you're going to generate around you is love. But if you're busy loving everything out of yourself, you will never be successful in love. As I said, love thyself. Fill up the cup. Let that cup runneth over. When a cup runneth over and spill, it will spill everywhere. You know, let that love spill. Yeah. Peace.